So my last video was really well received, and I've been reading your comments and messages. Because you love that so much, I wanted to make another video that goes a little deeper. It's still educational, still real, and still very me. Today we're talking about something that a lot of you deal with quietly. Can you guess what that is? It's shame and the loop it creates, especially when it comes to your preferences, your identity, and feeling like you have to hide parts of yourself to be accepted. And yes, guys, this can absolutely relate to, let's say, having foot admiration, okay, or being a foot lover, and anything in that area, really. This is an educational video about psychology, confidence, and authenticity that I really hope will help you break free. Because honestly, it's not just about liking feet, it's way more than that. This is about your freedom, and I believe whoever you are deserves to feel whole and happy. Now, before we get into the details of this video, I want to make a quick disclaimer. I am not a therapist, okay? And this is in no way medical advice. This is just personal development and education based on psychology concepts, ancient wisdom ideas, and my own experience and perspective. Also, I want to state that consent and respect are always non-negotiable. Healthy relationships, however they are, romantic, casual, or anything else, are built on communication, boundaries, and mutual agreement. Alright guys, now let's get into it. Let's talk about what I call the shame loop. Shame is not the same as guilt. There's a big difference between them. Guilt sounds something like, I did something wrong, right? It's more about an action that you did. Shame is something that you internalize and you make it part of your identity. It's something like, I am wrong. And shame has a very specific pattern that usually goes something like this. You start hiding a part of yourself, which makes you feel a temporary relief. But then you feel fake, tense, and disconnected. You will feel fragmented, and that's what makes you hide even more. It's like your brain learns, if people see the real me, I'm going to be in danger. And your nervous system starts acting like your authentic self is a threat, like you're not safe to be who you truly are. And if you've ever felt that tight feeling in your chest when you wanted to say something honest, or that panic when you thought somebody might judge you, listen, you're not alone. That's just the nervous system trying to protect you. But here's the problem. Protection does not always work in your favor. Protection can many times become a prison. Now, let's talk about preferences and why shame gets extra clingy in here. When something feels taboo, people often assume it automatically means it's bad. But guys, that's not true. A preference is not always automatically unhealthy. A preference is not automatically immoral or something that you need to be ashamed of. What matters is how you behave. Are you being respectful? Are you honest? Is there consent? Is there compatibility? Because when those are present, a preference is just a preference, guys. But the thing is, shame doesn't care about logic, right? Shame cares more about rejection and feeling safe. Shame is that inner voice that tells you, well, if they knew about this part of myself, they're going to leave me. If they knew about who I truly am, they're going to make fun of me. They're going to laugh in my face. They're going to think I am less valuable. And then people start doing this absolutely exhausting thing. They try to edit themselves, which leads to people pleasing. And I think we should talk about that because people pleasing may look nice on the outside, but the truth is, on the inside, it feels like fear, all right? And remember from the previous video, fear is a very low frequency. Fear basically is saying, I will shapeshift into whatever keeps me safe. And that can show up in small ways, but that have a big impact on your day-to-day life. And that is because you don't share your real opinion. You may laugh when something bothers you. You say yes when you actually want to say no. And you soften your truth so nobody else gets uncomfortable. You will hide your needs, you will hide your preferences, and you will also hide your boundaries. And over time, if you continue in this loop, something happens. You might be liked, but you don't feel loved because they're not connecting with the real you. They're connecting with the version of you that performs safety. And the truth is, people feel that. People feel authenticity. And that's why you are feeling lonely. It's like, imagine being hugged while you're wearing a very thick armor. The hug may be real, but you cannot feel the hug fully. You cannot feel the real connection. But here's the part that sets people free. Are you ready? This is big. You absolutely cannot please everyone. You just can't. Listen, even if you're the sweetest peach on earth, somebody's gonna be out there and be like, yeah, I don't like peaches. It's just not for me. And that's okay. Trust me, it is. That's just a normal part of being alive. If you need everyone to approve you, you will not feel authentic and you will miss out on making real connection. You'll be taking votes on absolutely every single decision. You will think, is this okay? Is that okay? Will they like me? Will they leave? And the cost of doing this, guys, is huge because you lose your inner voice. Now, I want to bring in a piece of ancient wisdom that I absolutely love because it's so simple yet so true. Are you ready? The more desperate you are for something, the further it feels. And I'm pretty sure many of you probably already felt this. The more you chase approval, the less secure you feel. The more you chase validation, the less you trust yourself. The more you chase being accepted or being liked, the more anxious you become. Why? Well, that's because desperation is basically the energy of, I don't have this, therefore I'm not going to be okay without it. And your brain, your subconscious mind, hears that as warning, warning, emergency, something is missing. I'm not feeling safe. So what do then? You start clinging. You start overthinking. And you start overperforming, over-explaining. And here's the paradox, guys. When you're grounded and when you're calm, when you're confident, almost like you don't even care, that's when you become more magnetic. On the other hand, when you're desperate, you tend to push things away without even wanting to. So the bottom line here is the goal is not to stop wanting things, guys. The goal is just to stop needing them to feel good, to feel okay. Cool. Now let's get a little practical. I'm going to give you a couple of steps that are simple, real, and very doable. Let's break the shame loop. Well, the first thing that you can do, and is going to help you tremendously, is to stop identifying with the shame. Just recognize that that shame voice is just a voice, and you can name it. Because when shame is unnamed, it feels like you, it feels like the absolute truth. But when you give it a name, it just becomes a voice. So, whatever you want to call your voice, maybe it's the inner cop, or maybe the shame gremlin, whatever fits. Okay, so when this happens, when you recognize that voice, say, that's interesting. That's the gremlin talking, or that's the cop talking. And this is extremely powerful because it creates space between you and the shameful thought. You are not the shame voice. You are just the person who's hearing it. Now, another thing that you can do is to find your self-edit moments, right? Which means to identify the moments where you edit yourself. Not the big dramatic moments here, just the small ones, the daily ones. Ask yourself, when do I say yes when I mean no? Where do I hold back because I'm afraid of judgment? Where do I pretend I'm cool with something that I'm not? Where do I hide who I am? Where do I hide what I love? Where do I hide what I prefer, even when it would be safe for me to be honest? Pick just one area. Because we're not trying to become fearless overnight, okay? We're trying to keep it real here. That's not gonna happen. But we're trying to become free over time, which is 100% possible. Trust me, I've been there. Now, another step is to practice truth, but just at 10% volume. And this is one of my favorites. Because you don't have to go from hiding to oversharing. Take small steps. A lot of people think that authenticity means, well, now I must tell everybody everything right now. No, that's not authenticity. That's just panic. Authenticity can be gentle. Try truth at 10% volume. Here are some examples that you can use. You can say something like, well, that's really not my vibe, or I'm not available for that. Okay, I prefer something different. I'm more private about that. I'll share that when I'm ready. I'm not comfortable with that joke, and so on. See, it's not that difficult. It's simple. And that's what confidence looks like. Now, this step is a big one because people pleasing often comes from bargaining. It's kind of like, if I do this, will they like me? If I say this, are you going to stay with me? If I explain more, will you understand? And sometimes you just can't explain forever because it won't land. And the truth is, sometimes you can explain forever and it still won't land. So here's a question that changes everything. This is the one. You gotta ask yourself, am I being kind right now? Or am I afraid? Fear is a trade. Kindness feels calm. Fear feels tense, constricting. And kindness feels good. When you start noticing the difference, you stop handing your power away. I'm going to give you the workout plan because being okay with not being liked is kind of like you build a muscle. You cannot build a muscle overnight. You have to build it by practicing every single day, or at least 5 times a week. Here's a playful daily challenge. Once a day, do something harmless that not everyone will love. Wear the bold outfit. Share your real opinion in a polite way. Say no without a long explanation. Post something authentic. Don't reply immediately. Don't fix someone's mood. Let someone misunderstand you a little. And then ask yourself, what happened? Did the world end? Did you survive? Chances are you did. And that is great. This way, you're training your nervous system to learn. Disapproval may be uncomfortable, but it is not dangerous. It is freedom. Now, I want to bring back the ancient wisdom piece. Wanting things, guys, is not something inherently bad. Wanting things is actually healthy. What can become a trap is needing things, all right? So I wanted to try this phrase. I would love this, but at the same time, I'm okay without it. When you're grounded, you make better choices. You stop chasing people. You stop chasing things that you want. You stop begging for validation. You start validating yourself. Your validation will come from inside of yourself. And you stop shrinking yourself to be kept by others. You show up as the real you. And now I want to make a quick clarification. Being authentic does not mean being rude. Authenticity is not ignoring other people's boundaries. In no way you should do that. Authenticity is not making everything about you. What authenticity really is being honest without being harmful, being clear without being cruel, being yourself without forcing yourself onto others. And a lot of the time, authenticity is actually quiet. It's just a calm no. Or it's a very clear, well, I like that. It's a steady, I'm not going to pretend. I'm comfortable in my own shoes. And the big reframe here that I wanted to keep is that you are not too much, okay? You're just not for everyone. And you don't even need to be, because your people, all right, your real people, the people who actually would love to connect with you, can't find you if you're staying hidden, if you're hiding, if you're always editing yourself, if you're always trying to polish this perfect image you think people want to see. And that only makes your life become like a performance. And you might win some approval, but you lose yourself and you lose the real connections. And I don't want that for you. And if you're still here with me, I want to tell you that you're just awesome. And let's do a quick exercise. I want you to close your eyes for a second. And while you do that, think of one thing you hide about yourself. It can be a preference, it can be a truth, it can be a need or a boundary. Now, I want you to imagine you don't hide it anymore. Not aggressively, not loudly, just calmly. What would you do differently? How would you stand? How would you speak? What would you stop apologizing for? This version of you that you're imagining right now exists, and it's very real. And you can become it one choice at a time. I want you to open your eyes and let's recap your action plan for this week. Name the shame voice, the shame gremlin. Notice your self-editing moments. Practice truth at 10% volume. Stop bargaining for approval. Train your tolerance for not being liked. Start wanting things without needing them. In other words, stay grounded. And do just one thing this week. Just one. Because small steps done consistently beats big things done just once. Now, if this video hit something for you, I want you to comment just one word. Free. Just free. Because I want to see who stayed with me till the end. And if you want a follow-up video, I can make a video about how to talk about your preferences confidently, without oversharing, without being awkward, without feeling ashamed. And as always, be kind, be honest, be safe, and be unapologetically you. Now, if you liked this video, if it helped, hit like, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!